It's here. I am talking about your fourth stimulus check and daily news update. $1,400 stimulus checks just for seniors. You heard me right, for seniors. A $500 tax credit for retirement savers. More items passed in the House Ways and Means Committee. Real quick, we have a trade adjustment assistance program, Medicare expansion, nursing home reforms, and protections for seniors and those with disabilities from abuse. And lastly, urgent news on President Biden's mandates and the latest on the numbers. Every day is Stimulus Day right here on the Ron Yates channel, so your number one source for all things stimulus, fourth stimulus check updates, stock market updates, as well as daily news updates, and basically, anything to get money in your pockets. So of course, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. And as always, a very big thank you for always lighting up the like button. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let's jump in. $1,400 stimulus checks for seniors. You heard me right, guys. $1,400 stimulus checks just for seniors is what one advocacy group is calling for to help retirees stave off the rising costs. The Seniors League, still love their name by the way, they sent an email last week to supporters informing them of its plans to petition members of Congress for new $1,400 stimulus checks just for seniors. Now, you would be surprised how quickly they got replies. Now, according to the policy group's analyst, we have already hit a nerve with that first email. It was an immediate response of support for the idea. More than 100 replies from seniors shared their stories. More than 50 of these messages mentioned having to cut down to one meal a day or trouble affording groceries. Many of the seniors who responded also said that they were cutting back on prescriptions. Now that's really sad news, guys, and I'm really sorry to hear that. But that's why the Senior Citizens League is planning to petition Congress for $1,400 stimulus checks just for seniors. That way they could get some extra non-taxable income to offset the higher costs in income levies and Medicare surcharges that some are going to face if next year's COLA bumps them into a higher tax bracket. Now, for everyone's information, the latest Social Security COLA estimate from the group is a whopping 6.2%.
The Social Security Administration won't announce its next annual cost of living adjustment until October 2021. But there is a reliable way to predict the number ahead of time using the Consumer Price Index. The Senior Citizens League is a nonpartisan advocacy group for older Americans and has a history of accurately predicting the annual change. The group estimates that the Social Security COLA for 2022 should be about 6.2%. That's much more than the 1.3% adjustment made for 2021, and the largest bump since a 7.4% increase in the 80s. One thing to keep in mind, the group's estimate is based on the Consumer Price Index data through August. The actual COLA change will be based on an average of July, August, and September data. But for the 88% of the population, every dollar matters and living on a fixed income takes planning. So let's take a look at what the 6.2% raise will mean for people's benefits. The average retirement beneficiary receives about $1,509 per month in Social Security. Applying the new COLAs will raise that check to $1,603, which is about an extra $94 per month, or around $1,123 per year.
Sad to say though, this good news isn't all that good for many seniors. Low-income seniors are nervous that they're going to be facing adjustments to their Medicare costs, to food benefits, rental subsidies, and that sort of thing, thanks to the COLA increase. But let me know if you guys can relate, and definitely look forward to more news on this as the Senior Citizens League plans to contact Congress with its campaign soon. Comment down below if you could benefit from another $1,400 in stimulus checks. I know I would love to see that direct deposit hit my bank account. The group plans to advocate for payments, particularly for low to middle income retirees, but let's see how it turns out in the final product. Really excited for this one for you guys. But what do you think? Let me hear from the seniors in our community on this one. Are senior stimulus checks a good idea? Drop a quick comment down below. Of course, I would love to hear from everybody. Just keep the comments coming, guys. More retirement stimulus news. Some retirement savers may claim an additional $1,500 in tax write-offs at tax time. The magic words that you need to know here: Savers Credit. The Savers Credit, formerly known as the Retirement Savings Contribution Credit, offers low and middle income filers a write-off at tax time. Currently, savers may claim up to 50% of their retirement contributions for a maximum credit of $1,000 for single filers and $2,000 for married couples filing together. Now, unfortunately, the amount is non-refundable, meaning that it only reduces or eliminates taxes owed. So if you had little to no tax liability, you'd pretty much get nothing. But not anymore, guys. New provisions passed in the House Ways and Means Committee this week could make the money refundable up to $500. And so what this means is that you could easily get $500 in cash every year thanks to this. Savers would receive this matching payment as a deposit in their retirement account. Now, we're still closely following all of the exciting developments coming from the House Ways and Means Committee, who just so happens to be in charge of a lot of the stimulus and tax provisions in the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. But here's the latest details. Trade Adjustment Assistance, also known as TAA programs, they approved investments in these programs that provide financial support and workforce development services to people who have lost their jobs as a result of trade. The committee boosted benefits and expanded eligibility for assistance. Then you got Medicare expansion. Now, I know you guys have been waiting for this one. The committee approved offering vision and hearing benefits to the older population, while dental benefits will begin in 2028. Representative Stephen Horsford labeled the markup as historic and argued that older Americans are suffering because Medicare doesn't cover essential parts of their health care. The congressman cited data that 75% of Medicare recipients who needed a hearing aid did not have one. In addition, 70% who have trouble eating due to issues with their teeth, and 43% who have vision impairments did not receive care in the past year. Health Worker Grant Program. They backed funding for Health Profession Opportunity Grant, which provides grants to fund training and education in professions in healthcare. Representative Danny K. Davis argued that the program's funding needed to be reauthorized before the program expires on September 30th, so HPOGs can be a part of the solution to build back better our healthcare workforce. He said, given the critical role of healthcare crisis and given the healthcare is one of the fastest growing industries in the nation, now is the time to invest in workers with barriers of employment to enter healthcare careers that are in high demand in these local areas. Elder Justice. The Ways and Means Committee approved a portion of the spending bill aimed at protecting seniors and those with disabilities from abuse. Specifically, this section would provide funds for programs that boost support for state and local adults, protective services, as well as long-term care ombudsman programs. Nursing home data staffing reform. The committee advanced funding for the Department of Health and Human Services, including to manage validation of nursing home data and to conduct studies on staff to resident ratios in nursing homes. A lot of wins for seniors in our latest stimulus news. And in case you missed our previous video, here's a quick list of what they approved on the first day. Childcare. Grants aimed at helping childcare providers improve their facilities, as well as grants aimed at increasing wages for childcare workers. Retirement savings. Provisions to require certain businesses to automatically enroll employees in retirement plans and to enhance a retirement savings tax credit that benefits low and middle income households. Parental, family, and medical leave, up to 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave. Of course, more details in our previous video, so definitely check out the channel playlist section right after this video. You can definitely count on this channel to provide you guys with the latest breakthroughs on these committees. Next up on their agenda, child tax credits, earned income tax credits, the $2,000 weatherization stimulus, and of course, the possibility of a fourth stimulus check. A lot of updates to get excited for, so definitely don't miss a beat. Be sure to subscribe to the channel now and hit that notification bell already. More stimulus news in this one. Stay tuned for the latest on President Biden's and how it could lead to a fourth stimulus check pretty soon. Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden is doing his part on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. He just released 2 tax proposals to pay for the price tag. One of the proposals, which Wyden released with Senate Banking Committee Chairman Sherrod Brown of Ohio, would create a 2% tax on the amount that publicly traded companies spend on buying back their own stock. Brown said in a statement, instead of spending billions buying back stocks and handing out CEO bonuses, it's past time Wall Street paid for its fair share and reinvested more of that capital into workers and communities who make those profits possible. The second proposal Wyden floated focuses on reforming tax rules for partnerships in an effort to prevent wealthy investors and corporations from avoiding taxes. Now, according to Ron Wyden, this proposal simply reduces complexity by closing loopholes that allow those at the top to pick and choose when and whether to pay tax. Remember, guys, we're keeping a close eye on all these tax proposals as we're looking for big businesses to possibly pay for stimulus.
This package adds nothing to the debt. Nothing to the debt. It is fully paid for by raising taxes on wealthy people. We've had people become billionaires during the pandemic. They should pay their fair share of taxes.
My Republican colleagues are busy telling everybody Bernie Sanders and the Democrats are going to raise taxes. You're right. We're going to raise them on the richest people in this country who start paying their fair share of taxes.
If we raise taxes on the big corporations who aren't paying, raise taxes on people using international loopholes, raise taxes on the wealthy who are not paying their fair share, we can pay for every one of those investments in the package without a penny of taxes on people making under $400,000 a year.
As President Biden made absolutely clear, under this legislation, no family in America making less than $400,000 a year will pay a nickel more in federal taxes.
We've had 55 big corporations pay nothing in taxes, though they have record profits.
We're going to end the obscenity of some of these corporations not paying a nickel in federal income taxes.
Collecting taxes from people who owe them and are dodging taxes by using loopholes, by using lawyers and accountants. Collecting those taxes will make our tax system fairer.
It is absolutely imperative that we end the obscenity of some of the wealthiest people in this country. I'm talking about multi-billionaires who in a given year pay nothing in federal income tax, not a nickel.
Now, speaking of Sanders, we're bound to see a clash between him and Senator Joe Manchin pretty soon, as both have been drawing their own red lines over this upcoming stimulus package. Now, according to one Democratic strategist, they really do mirror each other in terms of representing different ends of the Democratic coalition. On one side, we've got Manchin, the most conservative member of the Democratic caucus, and an old school backslapper known for his willingness to try to cut deals across party lines and befriend almost anyone. And on the other side, you got a stimulus hero like Bernie Sanders, who's essentially cast himself as an antagonist of Washington's establishment and cultivated an image which he's poked fun at as a grump. But it's made Sanders a loner, spending almost 15 years in the Senate further to the left than most of his Democratic colleagues, and watching as they say the party's base has moved more in his direction. Manchin even said the same thing about Bernie. Bernie truly is very, very much a socialist. He really is, and makes no bones about it. I know where he's coming from. I know who he is, and I respect that. Now, while he said that, Bernie said that he's tired of talking about Manchin. Good old Bernie. Who else is tired of talking about Manchin? Let's go get that stimulus. Hashtag poverty is a policy choice. Let's get that hashtag trending, guys. And you can share this video with your post too. 1, it'll help our channel, and 2, it'll definitely help all the people in need of more information. Just hit the share button now, guys. Now, as for our Congress and White House leaders, it's business as usual with the $3.5 trillion stimulus package. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told reporters, "We're moving full speed ahead. We want to keep going forward. We think getting this done is so important." President Biden predicts he can work something out with Manchin. He told reporters, "Joe at the end has always been there. He's always been with me. I think we can work something out. I look forward to speaking with him." House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who set the September 27th deadline for the 2 stimulus bills in the House right now, also shared her excitement about all this. She said, "Everybody's working very hard. The committees are doing their work. We're on a good timetable, and I feel very exhilarated." A senior Democratic staffer said Senate and House committees, which face an end-of-week deadline to finish their elements of the reconciliation package by the end of the week, haven't received any indication the final version will be pared down from the $3.5 trillion top line spending goal laid out in the budget resolutions passed last month by each chamber. The aide said, "We're working our asses off. All we're doing is working. We have been under orders to get to agreement with our House counterparts by close of business." And let's not forget about Progressive Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal. She is predicting that the Democrats could lose the House if they don't get their act together and pass this much needed $3.5 trillion stimulus package, possibly including the 4th stimulus check. We'll definitely see a breakdown here in the coming updates, so don't miss out. Other important and scary news, according to the CDC, individuals are 11 times more likely to die than fully people.
What we could say a year ago that kids weren't getting sick, we can no longer say that.
The silver lining is gone, so says Dr. Hector Wong at Cincinnati Children's Hospital.
A year ago, we would have a handful of kids in the hospital who were with us for other conditions and happened to have. Now what we're starting to see is kids in the hospital, including the ICU, who are there because of COVID.
The latest data released last week by the Ohio Hospitals Association shows a 68% week-to-week increase in hospitalizations for kids due to the Ohio Children's Hospital Association says their staff is being strained at unprecedented levels. The organization wrote a letter Thursday begging Ohioans to get and to mask up. But that's not the only problem hospitals are having. Overall admissions are up nearly 10 times what they were in early July, according to Ohio Department of Health Director Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff. Vanderhoff says we should point the finger at one group of people.
Ohioans are far and away patients filling our hospital beds. Data shows that from January to the present, less than 2.5% of those hospitalized were fully vaccinated. This is a hospital of the unvaccinated.
Last year, when Governor Mike DeWine told us hospitals were concerned about capacity, he mandated masks statewide. That was also not available at the time. Yet there has been skepticism mixed with an unwillingness to get amongst 40% of people in the state. The Ohio Federation of Teachers is calling on the governor to reissue the mask mandate, but Vanderhoff says there's no appetite for that requirement.
We're part of a very wonderful democracy. And in that democracy, it really, at the end of the day, always depends upon the will of the people.
A spokesperson for Governor DeWine adding to that by saying 1/3 of students are in districts where mandates are in place. The governor's plan has worked in that we're sharing the information and school districts are making these decisions on their own and what's in the best interest of their students.
The CDC research spanning more than 600,000 people in 13 jurisdictions also determined populations were over 10 times more likely to be hospitalized, figures that underscore protect recipients from death and hospitalizations. The study also showed people were 4.5 times more likely to contract. Now, that's kind of scary though. Now, to help you guys prepare for the worst, we've created a very special channel exclusive newsletter for you guys on the top 20 proof ways to generate extra income today. Now, this is your key for the ins and outs of the new normal. With this, you can weather all these curfews, lockdowns, restrictions, self-isolation, stay-at-home orders, and mask mandates from the comfort of your very own home. Can you imagine just being able to make as much money as you needed straight from your home and not having to leave? Just hit the link in the pinned comment down below for your free copy of the 20 ways to generate income from home. President Biden is not backing down from the threats of Republican governors to take him to court over the latest mandates. Asked about opponents vowing to challenge the new measures, President Biden replied, "Have at it. I am so disappointed that particularly some Republican governors have been so cavalier with the health of these kids, so cavalier with the health of these communities. We're playing for real here, and this isn't a game. And I don't know of any scientist out there in this field that doesn't think it makes considerable sense to do the 6 things I've suggested." Now let's remember what President Biden said way back in December when he was talking about the 3rd stimulus check.
Will your plan include a new round of stimulus checks to the American people? And if
Yes.
so, for how much?
Well, look, that's a negotiating issue, but it will. Yes, it will. And I think, by the way, I think we owe Bernie Sanders and his Republican colleagues thanks for getting not all the stimulus we looked for, 1,200, but getting 600 done. I think you're seeing that there is a clear understanding that these issues go beyond any ideology. People are desperately hurt. And the Republicans are hurting as badly as Democrats.
Disclaimer, guys, this was from December 2020, and President Biden was talking about the 3rd stimulus check. I just want to be clear about that one. But just take a look at how he's described things back then. These issues go beyond any ideology. People are desperately hurting, and the Republicans are hurting as badly as Democrats. Right now, masks and mandates are up, and people are still hurting. It looks like things are pretty much the same as they were back in December. I know a lot of you guys can relate on this one. One economist stresses that point. Delta is reducing consumer demand and threatening the reopening. Ultimately, it's a harsh reminder that has control over our destiny. And let's not forget President Biden saying a weak jobs report makes clear need for more stimulus. And as he said with the weak jobs report back in April, we can't let up. The jobs report makes that clear. We've got too much work to do. We have to build back better. Now, could that mean a 4th stimulus check in the immediate future? We'll find out in our coming updates. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. This is your 4th stimulus check update plus your daily news update. The $1,400 stimulus checks just for seniors, a $500 to $1,000 tax credit for retirement savers, more items passed in the House Ways and Means Committee, trade adjustment assistance programs, Medicare expansion, nursing home reforms, protections for seniors, and for those with disabilities from abuse, and lastly, urgent news on President Biden's mandates. And of course, let's not forget the latest numbers. So I hope that you guys appreciated all the stimulus lowdowns as much as we appreciate each and every one of your likes on this video. Those really help us out with those tricky YouTube algorithms. Not to mention your likes also make my day just that much brighter, so I really appreciate that. So I thank you guys, and I hope yours is too, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.